Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about a more serious topic, but I believe that it is very important for us to have these conversations, and I would actually love to give my opinion and my thoughts on this. Now, thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, leave a comment if you think that I said something you don't agree with. Let's engage in the comment section. Let's discuss this. So this morning, actually, I was watching Oprah Winfrey's documentary, I can call it, on light-skinned girls. It's called Light Skinned. I'm going to leave the link to that video in the description box below so that you guys can actually watch it. I highly recommend that you watch it. It was very informative, very engaging, and I could not stop watching it even though I have data struggles. You know, it's Africa. This is Africa. If you're watching this and you're not from Africa, thank you for tuning in. I want to talk about colorism in the African context as well, and also give my thoughts on what I thought about the documentary Light Skinned Girls. Now, before we get deeper into this colorism topic, I would like to read out to you what is Google's definition of colorism. Google says colorism is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. Now, that is very, very sad. So as the definition on Google says, prejudice on dark-skinned women. I think it is so ridiculous. Have you seen people from South Sudan, guys? Have you seen Nikki Thought? Have you seen how gorgeous their dark skin is? I love it. Like, I don't understand who decided that white or light skin is better than dark skin. That was a big fat lie. Big fat lie. Don't believe it. And I think it's 2020. Let's unlearn these absurd beliefs. Honestly, let's unlearn it. I'm talking to y'all. So as I was watching light-skinned girls, I think it's called Light-Skinned Girls, Oprah's documentary, it was quite interesting. So Google's definition said it's prejudice against dark-skinned women, but that is actually incorrect because there's also been a lot of prejudice on light-skinned women. So as I was watching the documentary, I noticed that, well, a lot of the people who were commenting are, I think I would say, people who are old. So it's not your young generation. There wasn't a lot of young people. I saw Amber Rose appears in the show, and a lot of famous people that we know, who we are familiar with. And a lot of them were talking about growing up being light-skinned and how it was traumatic. There's a lady who actually, she got cut because at the club, the dark-skinned woman thought that she thought better of herself, and they actually like attacked her, guys. And it's tragic, but I think this is very common in America, because remember, in the American context, anyone who's not white is usually referred to as black or colored or being of color or African American. So the light-skinned women were saying that growing up light-skinned, they have to overcompensate to prove their blackness because they're not easily accepted in the black community. And the other woman was talking about being teased in primary school, the other kids threatening to cut her hair, because remember, in America back in the days, during slavery days, the white slave masters would have intercourse with the black slaves, and then they would create what they would call mulattoes, which is a derogative term. I believe it's not kind to call someone a mulatto, but that's what they referred to as mixed race kids back in the days. I would also highly recommend that you watch Belle, because often people say mulattoes or mixed race people came about as a product of rape, but it's not always the case. In some cases, like if you watch a movie called Belle, it stars Gugu Mbatha-Raw. She is a great actress. I really love that movie, but she was a princess because her father had an affair with a black woman. So often at times they were products of an affair, or sometimes unfortunately rape. So in the slavery times, the light-skinned woman would get jobs in the kitchen, and then the darker-skinned woman would get jobs in the fields. So that's, I think, what created colorism as we know it. So there's this light-skinned versus dark-skinned woman debate, and there's this hatred towards each other, and it's very, very complicated. And we see it in the African context. I remember, like, first of all, I don't identify as being a light-skinned woman. I don't identify as being a dark-skinned woman. I actually just identify as being Mufaro Masons. Because we shouldn't be so focused on this and so fixated on it, but unfortunately we are. People go as far as putting their health at risk just to lighten or bleach their skin. It's very popular in Nigeria, in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, you know, and they are speaking. I mean, it is their choice. It is their choice. I definitely cannot judge someone, because in America it seems to be there's quite a lot of prejudice against light-skinned women, but I can't comment so much on that. So I'm now going to divert into the African context. I feel as though growing up there is a lot more prejudice against darker skinned women, and I think it's a very sensitive topic because even our African men tend to prefer light-skinned women because they believe they are more beautiful. And this is also common in America, because as I was watching the documentary, this one guy commented and said, well, I prefer light-skinned women because he said that light-skinned women are like the trophy wife. They're more beautiful. If you bring her out, your friends are gonna be like wowed. And then the other guy said no, he prefers dark-skinned women because they are more down to earth. And it's sad. So I can't speak for everyone's experiences, but I can speak for my own experience, and basically saying that it's kind of like saying dark-skinned women have a low self-esteem, or they apparently, according to his experience, they are more supportive, and light-skinned women are less supportive apparently. So yeah, I suggest you guys watch it. As I said before, the link is in the description box. It was a really great documentary. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I found it to be very engaging, very thought-provoking, and also emotional and deep. So in the African context, growing up, I've seen dark-skinned people being laughed at, mocked. So I would say in Africa it's more of a prejudice against darker skinned women. And the most problematic thing about colorism is that these are your own people who are hating on you or who are making negative comments about you. It's not coming from the other races, it's coming from your own people, which is why I say that we should unlearn this problem. We should just start to equate beauty to what you believe is beautiful. Beauty has got nothing to do with skin tone, in my opinion. And I actually think that defining beauty is problematic, because the minute you start to have a definition of beauty, like a world standard of what is beautiful, a lot of people are immediately gonna fall out of it. There's the weight issues, how big is your nose, such things, such petty things. And I think sometimes there is jealousy from the darker skinned women because they believe that light skinned women are more beautiful, or you know, such things. And I feel, in my opinion, that I would like to be known for who I am. And I remember, you know, sometimes, especially like from the men, I think men suffer from colorism a lot more than women, because they will be complimenting you and say, oh, you're so beautiful, I like your skin tone especially. And whenever I get that compliment, it doesn't sit well with me. I don't see it as a compliment, because people don't care about who you are, they're just interested in how you look. And I understand human beings are visual. Yes, the minute you meet someone, the first thing you see is how they look, etc. And this is why this is such a huge topic. This is why it's a huge problem. But honestly, I think let's dig deeper. Let's get to know people for who they are. I think beauty is how you make people feel. It's not just how you look on the outside, is how you make people feel, how you treat people, who you are. Are you kind? Are you supportive? Are you somebody people can have a conversation with and laugh with and be happy with? So that's where I would like to leave my comment. Yeah, and the issue of just, I remember like I'm from Zimbabwe, and in Zimbabwe there is a very famous lady called Madam Boss. Some people actually don't know her, but she does skits, and in her skits there is a character called Dudzai. Dudzai is a maid, right? So allegedly, according to rumors, Madam Boss has bleached her skin, which is fine. It was her choice. She wanted to bleach her skin. But I've noticed that when she plays the character of the maid, she puts on a darker foundation, and I'm like, what are you trying to say? So essentially, this is what colorism is. The reason why she's putting Madam Boss applies a darker foundation when she's playing Dudzai character is she's trying to associate Dudzai as being a maid, as being poor. And this is what Africa suffers from. Africans literally believe that if you're light-skinned, you're rich. I'm sure a lot of light-skinned people can actually give can actually give testimonies on how you walk into a shop and people try to sell you something for double what it costs just because they notice you're light skinned. They actually think you are rich. So this is why colorism is so problematic, because that is simply not true. Your skin tone has got nothing to do with how much money you have. Your skin tone has got nothing to do with how beautiful you are. And yeah, this is why Madam Boss's character is so problematic. It's unkind, because what does that have to say about people who are dark-skinned? Are you trying to say dark-skinned people are not smart, you know? And are you trying to say that dark-skinned people are not beautiful, that dark-skinned people cannot be a boss, that dark-skinned people cannot be rich? So I think in the African context, it is definitely more prejudice against dark-skinned people. There is definitely light-skinned privilege, and even within families, guys, because sometimes parents can have children, right? Some of the siblings might come out more light-skinned, and then the other siblings come out dark-skinned, and then the dark-skinned kids will be just ignored. They won't be given attention, they won't be given as much love. So I think this is why I had to create this video. This is why I had to let people know that this is absurd, and that just stop doing it, guys. It's silly. It's very silly. And as for me, I don't appreciate a light skin comment. It's nonsense. I am so much more happy when people compliment my character, when people compliment how I make them feel, right? And essentially, how you look could never hold together a relationship, but how you are and how you treat people and who you are, those are the things that build strong relationships. Yes, we're visual people, but I think the test is to look past that. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I actually enjoyed shooting this video. If you want an episode 2, let me know. don't forget to click the subscribe button. I love you for watching, and remember, you are beautiful the way you were born. There is nothing wrong with you, all of you. Bye.